Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do another franchise review. So today we're going to be reviewing The Strangers. Now, The Strangers came out in sort of mid-2000s and then had a sequel not that long after. And then the third movie just came out this year, which is quite a way since the original. So there's three movies so far, and with the remake this year, they plan on making two more that take place after. So the new one is supposed to be the spawn of a new trilogy, and we have two from before. So let's get into it. So for the first movie, I have the Blu-ray. So not really a fancy case. If you are looking to get The Strangers on physical, this movie is coming to 4K now. I can't recall whether or not it's getting a steelbook, but it is coming to 4K. So this has the unrated version. I think I watched the theatrical version because I just wanted to see the one that everyone else saw. And I know this says it's inspired by true events. That's very loosely. This is very loosely inspired by true events. There was a home invasion story, but what happens in this movie is not exactly really how it happened for real. It's just loosely based on true story. But this one is the original in this now becoming franchise with, more planned. I really like this one. This one sort of hits those horror feels that a lot of the classic horror movies hit. This one isn't over the top. It's not CGI. It's not big monster. There are really no creatures in it at all. It's just home invasion, but the filming style and the acting is what makes it so creepy. It's how realistic it feels. It's the shots of the people walking around, the home invaders, walking around in the background from the hallway. You can just see, as you can see, they're wearing masks. You can see the mask in the dark hallway, and it's just the way it's filmed, I think, helps mold this movie into what makes it iconic. And that's what gives you the unsettling feeling that makes you want to turn on lights in the house as you're walking around after seeing this movie. This movie did that. So if you guys have seen the unrated version, please let me know what happens in it, because I've only seen the theatrical. I'll probably watch the unrated before probably the next one comes out. And I do want to get this one on 4K as well. So there are options for this movie depending on which version you want to pick up, if you do want to pick up the copy on physical media. This one stands out for the franchise. It's, in my opinion, of the three so far, the best one. And I'm pretty sure it'll probably stay that way for a while. But who knows? Now this next one, The Strangers Prey at Night. I too chose the coward's way out and watched the theatrical version just because I wanted to see the version that everyone saw. I think unrated cuts are really interesting. Some are really good. Some barely have any difference. So I just wanted to see what everyone else saw. That's why I didn't watch these unrated versions. I probably will at some point. I just haven't yet. So in this movie, you sort of have the same characters preying at night on a new family. And what's disappointing about this one is I thought its concept, in theory, was really intriguing, very interesting, and it could have, in my opinion, surpassed the original if they had just ran with the sort of themes and the scene that it set up. So the family they're targeting, it's sort of at this RV park, I suppose, and there's, community pool. The RVs are sort of everywhere on the property, they're campers, what have you. And it's sort of a big area, and part of the theme is the killer, the main guy, he's driving around in a truck for most of the movie, stalking his prey, telling the others where they're at, finding out where they are. A lot of people are running from the truck more than the other two in this movie. And so giving him a vehicle and giving it being in an RV park, there is only one or two victims before the family they're targeting, which is, if I remember correctly, a family of four. So there's not really a lot of victims in this movie at all. I think the sort of style it kind of chose at night, and because most of this is taking place during the dark, it takes place at night, and for an RV park, I thought that if they had put maybe 10 more characters in there, just killables, just expendable characters, I think it could have really amped up the action. They could have had more chance for gore. It would feel more violent, and I think it could have made this movie a lot more fun. Having the location being at this RV park, driving around the property, I thought that was a very interesting concept if they had much more characters. So the fact that they're really only hunting in total, it's like 6 people, I feel like it didn't need to be some large area of hunting grounds for this movie. So that was a little disappointing. I think this movie would have been a whole lot better if there were more characters. But as it stands, it was interesting. It's not as good as the original, but I don't think it was that bad. It was just a little flat because of how large the location was, and given the minimal kill count because of the amount of characters they chose to put in this movie. So overall, the first one's still better, but I liked this one. I didn't love it. I did like it, though. So that's the second one. And then now we have The Strangers Chapter 1, which is sort of their reboot. So what's interesting is for this movie, I heard a lot of people said it was okay. Some were saying it was bad. It didn't have praising reviews, but I guess some people liked it enough for Lionsgate to make this very nice physical copy. So this is supposed to be sort of the look hole on the front door, and as you open it up, you can see the characters. Now, what's interesting is this is actually sort of just the cardboard outing or outside case for the movie. This kind of gives you nostalgia from sort of old DVD cases a little bit. So we'll get to that in a second. So here's the back. This gives you a couple of glimpses from some of the scenes from the movie. And this is the 4K copy. This is the 4K copy for it. And up here, it's hard to open this up without messing it up. On the top here, you got this flap you pull. And when you open it up, you have your movie inside. But the cool thing about this movie, or should I say, this copy, is it's a steelbook inside. This isn't just a 4K copy. So you got that, that picture with those new antagonists, and then you got sort of that look in the back as well, sort of giving those sort of that eerie woodsy vibes. And so it's a really nice steelbook. I thought it was pretty cool. It's nice and sleek, and I love that it comes in this case. A lot of the Lionsgate steelbooks sort of have just a slipcover over it, in that clear one. If you have Lionsgate steelbooks, then you guys know what I'm talking about. So the Lionsgates, there's usually the sleeve that, as you take it off, it reveals a picture or some scene or nod to the movie. It's mainly for people who have seen it before. When they pull it out, they'll recognize, oh yeah, I remember that from the movie, on the face of the steelbook once the slipcover comes off. But regardless, we have a full-on box packaging for this steelbook, which is reminiscent, meant to imitate something from the movie. So this movie may not be getting high praise from horror fans across the nation, but I have a feeling people who want to have this on physical are going to be wanting this copy. I have people I know who thought the movie was okay, and rushed and hunted for this copy as I did. So this one's really neat. This is by far the coolest packaging we've got for one of these The Strangers movies. Even though this is, in my opinion, the least liked movie of the three for me. So here we have it. The Strangers Chapter 1 was alright. What they added in the movie wasn't really much of anything. It sort of was a copy of the first. There wasn't really anything different. And for some remakes, it is nice to see that nothing much was changed, but for a horror movie, especially one like this, where there's so many concepts they could run with, I feel like this movie needed to feel different. It needed to stand out, and it just didn't. However, they are making 2 more movies, so hopefully, I'm holding out that the next 2 will have more original concepts and sort of dive more into the lore of this world, as we only get to see in all 3 movies now just a handful of characters at a time. So if they run with the idea of having more victims, more characters, and sort of this larger setting instead of just home invasion, which the third one takes place mimicking the first one, I think if the next one, The Strangers Chapter 2 or Chapter 3, if they run with that concept, I think it could be a very entertaining film, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens with it. So that's my review of this so far trilogy. The Strangers Chapter 1 will end up getting its own trilogy. Just give it a few years. And thank you guys for sticking with me.